Hi everyone and welcome to Ask Amanda this week. Today I'm joined by Leanne Scott, top mortgage broker for Mortgage Choice. Hi Leanne, how are you?
Hi Amanda, thanks for having me.
Yeah, good to see you. We've got a lot of questions for you today.
Excellent, fire away.
Look, I wanted to find out, at the moment there's a lot of talk around banks not lending and taking longer, etc. I just wanted to hear from from you, from the expert, how long it is taking.
For a pre-approval?
Yeah.
Look, generally, if your circumstances are simple and we can, sort of get it in and out, 2 to 3 days.
Wow,
if the circumstances are a little more complex or we're restricted with the lenders we can use because of certain circumstances or property or, whatever, it can take up to a week, but it shouldn't be much longer than that.
Wow, that's interesting and much quicker than some clients that we've had. So they must have had some tricky situations indeed.
Quite possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what are the rates for owner-occupier versus investment at the moment?
Okay, so if you're looking at principal and interest payments and it's owner-occ, you should be looking somewhere between 3.65 up to sort of 3.75. Anywhere in that range would be considered to be fairly competitive.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking at investment and you're looking at interest only, you could be looking at maybe 4.4, 4.5%. If you're investment, but you're happy to pay principal and interest, you'll sort of be low 4s.
Okay, that's interesting. So if we're looking for an investment property that yields 4% or above in rental yield, then it will cover most of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you can find investment property in Sydney at 4% yield, then you are a genius.
Yes, that's our job.
Yeah.
So tell me, is there a difference between mortgage brokers? I think that's a question that a lot of people don't know how to ask. And
Absolutely.
I know from our point of view there is, but just hearing from you.
Yeah. Look, there's a very big difference in mortgage brokers. Number one would be the size of their panel. So does the mortgage broker have 10 lenders on their panel or do they have 30 lenders on their panel or more? Like there are some brokers that have more than that. And then I guess it's also how highly accredited is that mortgage broker? Are they able to get a turnaround in 2 to 3 days? Are they able to deal with tricky situations, super fund loans, do they have that level of expertise to be able to do that? So yeah, there's a big difference between
Yeah, it's interesting. Over the time of dealing with lots of different mortgage brokers, especially when clients come in with them, as opposed to people that we know that can do deals quickly, we do notice a difference between, for want of a better word, like platinum mortgage brokers that are doing deals all the time with certain lenders that can get things through in 24, 48 hours, as opposed to, Joe Blow down the road who just started a mortgage business a few years ago.
Yeah, it takes 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Interesting. Yeah. And tell me, with the Royal Commission finishing their research very shortly, tell me, do you think that's going to impact lending?
I think it will. I think it will have both positive and negative impacts. So I think there will be some pullback by banks in certain areas, and we can feel that at the moment, especially the Big Four, because they've just been pulled over the mat, in front of the Royal Commission. So I think there will be some pullback in some demographics, in some areas, like there will be reticence to lend. There's been a much bigger focus on living expenses and being able to declare them. For instance, if you have a kid in private school, that now is considered almost as a liability on your expense sheet, and that can make a huge difference to how much you can borrow. So that is becoming a real factor, and I think that the Royal Commission is actually going to make sure that becomes even more so when they hand down their findings next year.
Yeah, we're finding them so much tighter. Even myself, who've got 5 properties, and trying to get one of them redone at the moment.
It's really hard.
It's a lot more questions than I've ever had before, and they asked if Molly was going to private school to factor that in. Thank goodness she's not. So
otherwise she probably wouldn't have got the loan. It's very invasive now, and a lot of my clients in particular, who I've been dealing with for a long time, are coming back to me and going, why are you asking us all of this? You've never asked us this before. And we go, well, this is the new world of lending.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, look, that's great. Thank you so much for your time today.
You're welcome.
It's great to catch up and find out these insights.
You're welcome.
Thank you.